This is the largest celebration of faith in Argentina, in all of Argentina. The celebration of the Lord and the Virgin of the Miracle. Noche de los Peregrinos, Night of the Pilgrims. And they make a pilgrimage, sometimes hundreds of kilometers. Welcome back everyone to Salta, Argentina. We are here in Plaza 9 de Julio, where we were in our very first video that we made here from Salta. But it looks very, very different today. Today is Friday, September 13th. And the entire city is celebrating the celebration of El Señor y la Virgen del Milagro, the Lord and the Virgin of the Miracle. That's what we're going to talk about in this video, and we're going to see a lot, let me tell you, so come along. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you want to help out the channel and help it grow, I really would appreciate it. Click on the like button down there, the subscribe button, and the little bell next to it to be notified for when new videos drop. It really helps the channel grow because it's going to help the YouTube algorithm recognize this content and spread it to other YouTube viewers. If you'd like to support the channel monetarily, I would appreciate that as well. You can leave a super thanks by clicking this thanks button here and give a small donation to the channel. I appreciate your support. So back to the video, enjoy. So the celebration of the Lord and the Virgin of the Miracle. It's basically the biggest event in Salta for the entire year. And it is a celebration of a miracle that dates back to 1692, and they've been celebrating it every year ever since. As you can see, it is very, very busy here. And there are a lot of people who have made the pilgrimage down from all over the area, from towns and villages all up in the hills all around Salta. They've made a pilgrimage down here. There are going to be basically an additional few 100,000 people in Salta this weekend. It's a very big deal. It will culminate on Sunday with the procession, where a very famous statue of Christ will be on a procession through the city with 500,000, possibly more people following it through the streets. So basically, it's going to be a very, very big deal. And we just so happened to be lucky enough to be here in Salta at the time that this is going on. So we get to witness it, which is really cool. And we also get to film it so y'all can witness it as well. But before we get into that, before everything really kicks off here on Saturday and Sunday, let's talk a little bit about the miracle itself and what exactly is being celebrated. So, the very simplified version is, in 1592, about 10 years after the city of Salta was founded, there were two basically like crates found floating out in the ocean off the coast of Callao in Lima, Peru. And one of them was a statue of the Virgin Mary, and one of them was a statue of Christ, the crucified Christ. The one for the Virgin Mary was destined for Cordoba in Argentina, and the one of the crucified Christ was destined for Salta, right here. But there was some sort of a tragic shipwreck. Basically, both of them ended up floating in the sea. So, they were brought on shore to Lima. They were placed on a caravan of mules, and they were brought all the way down on an old Incan trail down here to Salta. The statue of the crucified Christ was dropped off here, and the statue of the Virgin Mary was continued on to Cordoba and dropped off there. And they were basically, the crucified Christ was placed inside the cathedral, or a cathedral here, not this cathedral, but the central church, basically, of Salta, and left there, and everybody sort of forgot about it for about 100 years. But 1692, 100 years later, there was a large earthquake. The epicenter of the earthquake was actually a different village, or a different town, about 100 kilometers or so away from here. and the tremors were felt here as well. And the tremors here, people worried that the church was going to be destroyed. So they rushed to the church, and what they found was there was another image of the Virgin Mary that was up in the rafters, like way, way high up, and had fallen in such a way that it looked like she was like kneeling at the foot of the statue of Christ and praying to Christ. And they saw this as a sign, so they brought her statue to the mayor's house, and it was put on display so that people could worship in front of it. But the tremors continued for the next few days. The earthquake continuing, the tremors, and people were very, very scared here that there was going to be a larger earthquake, since they found out that that other town, which I'm forgetting the name of right now, but I'll put it in the subtitle, was basically completely destroyed by the earthquake. And so then there was a Jesuit priest here, a Jesuit priest who says that he heard a message from God telling him that until the Christ, the statue of Christ, is taken out on a procession through the streets, that the tremors would not end. So that's exactly what they did. They took the statue of Christ out on a procession through the streets, and on September 15th, at the end of the procession, the tremors ended. And so that is why, ever since 1692, here in Salta, on September 15th, which is this upcoming Sunday, 2 days from now, there will be a procession in the streets with that statue of Christ being, with hundreds of thousands of people following it. Now, another thing is, and here's something you can see right here, these are peregrinos ciclistas from, I'm not sure where, Nuestra Señora del Rosario. Basically, these are pilgrims who are making a pilgrimage from other towns around in the hills, other towns to the north, to the south, east, west of Salta. And they make a pilgrimage, sometimes hundreds of kilometers, sometimes cycling, sometimes just walking. In fact, in our video that we made recently about the train to the clouds, when we were up in San Antonio de los Cobres, there were some of the pilgrims who had been walking for days and days, sometimes 15 days, non-stop basically, to get here, and they walk hundreds of kilometers. And so you see all over the town, all over the city, pilgrims, peregrinos. I've actually seen some signs around Salta, signs like this one here that say Bienvenidos peregrinos, welcome pilgrims. And then they have the hashtag El Milagro nos une, the miracle unites us. And like I said, this has sort of been going on for a few days now, and will continue to go on and grow in size and scale up until Sunday, when the procession is. Tomorrow on Saturday, in the evening, here in the square in front of the church, there's something called the Concierto de Campanas, or Campañas, which is like the concert of the bells. Tomorrow, we're going to be here for the Night of the Pilgrims, here in Plaza 9 de Julio. The Night of the Pilgrims, where the cathedral over there will be open all night. The cathedral's open all night, and basically the entire square is open and filled with the pilgrims who come from all over the region down here to celebrate. And they're going to be here all night, basically, tomorrow night. So, stick around. Next time we see you, we'll be here tomorrow night, checking out the Night of the Pilgrims. We'll see you soon. Hello, everyone. We're back. It's the next day. It's Saturday. We're out here on the terrace outside our apartment here, and right across the street in Parque San Martin, it's kicking off. They've had music out here, bands playing like every night since like I think Wednesday, and you can tell that now that it's the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the final like 2 days of the festival, the celebration, it's gonna be big. So as the sun goes down here and it gets a little bit darker, we're gonna head over, let's see, over that way towards Plaza 9 de Julio, because tonight we want to observe the Noche de los Peregrinos, the Pilgrims Night, and also the Concierto de Campañas, the Concert of the Bells, which is going to happen tonight around, I think like 11 o'clock. So we're going to get ourselves ready for that. And I guess we'll see you over there. So we're back here in Plaza 9 de Julio. And it is Noche de los Peregrinos, Night of the Pilgrims. And there are a lot of people here. When we were here yesterday, there were a lot of people here, and there are still a lot of people here, even late at night. It's not really late for Argentine standards. It's about 10:45. People are just finishing up dinner, basically. But they have prayers going. The church, the cathedral is open all night.
Gloria a ti, Señor Jesús.
In a little bit, it's going to be the Concert of the Bells, Concierto de las Campañas. And I don't know exactly what that is, but I imagine there's going to be some bell ringing. For now, we can walk around the square a little bit and see everybody is out here. Some of these people are from here in Salta. A lot of these people, I imagine, are pilgrims who've come from the towns outside of the city, made their way down here over the last couple weeks. But you can see, this place is packed. I can only imagine what it's going to be like tomorrow. I mean, I've heard stories of over 500,000 people. I've heard stories of up to 800,000 people in the procession that's going to be happening tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited to see that, honestly. This is the largest celebration of faith in Argentina, in all of Argentina. So this is something that not only are people coming, like I said, from towns outside of Salta, but people will actually come here from far away in Argentina just to come for this week, and this weekend specifically. It's very, very important, not just to Salta, but to Argentina as a whole country. This is really kind of wild, because right over there at the church, the cathedral, they're doing a very solemn prayer. And over here, half a block down, people are marching and singing. They're playing music back there. I can hear it. There's a cross between a solemn religious ceremony and a big old party. And I see more people coming in too. If I go over towards the edge of the square here and up that direction, you can see there's more people coming. I think everybody's trying to get here before the Concierto de las Campañas. I think this may be starting the Concierto de Campañas. There, of course, was some singing before and music and whatnot, but what I've noticed is up in the bell tower on the right side, where the bell is lit up and there's people up there, which there weren't before. Which means if it's lit up there and there's people up there, I imagine that bell ringing is imminent. Right? Oh, they are ringing the bells. Just noticed. Can you see that? Someone's got a drone, getting a nice drone shot. Someone with better tech than me is going to have a much better video of this. This is wild. This is cool. Well, I think the concert is over now. Right by where I was standing and a bunch of other people were standing on the grass. The automatic sprinklers have now turned on. And everybody is getting drenched. So I think that's it for the Concierto de las Campañas, Concert of the Bells. That was cool. They were really going at it, no joke, for like 10-15 minutes straight. That was really, really cool. And I'm really excited to come back here tomorrow for the procession, right? The grand final event. Hundreds of thousands of people in the procession walking through the streets from here all the way up to the 20 de Febrero monument, the 20th of February monument that we visited in our video about the Battle of Salta. Very cool. Very cool. I think we're going to call it for the night. And the next time we see you, we'll be back here, Plaza 9 de Julio. And we'll get to check out the final procession, sort of final ceremony that finishes off the entire week here of the semana, the week, the Semana del Señor y la Virgen del Milagro. See you soon. All right, everyone, welcome back. We're back out on the streets, and it is Sunday now. Sunday, September 15th, is the day of the procession. The procession del Señor, del Señor y de la Virgen del Milagro. The procession of the Lord and the Virgin of the Miracle. So we're here a little early, maybe about 45 minutes or an hour actually before I think this is all about to start, but you can tell that something big is going to happen here. There are people coming into the square. They're starting to close off streets there and down there at the other end of the square. There's a lot of police and like bomberos, firefighters and paramedics in the area. There are tents where they've set up where people can get water and like a first aid tent and stuff like that. Stuff that only happens when you're expecting to have like really, really big crowds of people. So I'm not sure exactly how this works. I don't know if anybody can just join the procession, if you could just like be in it. I don't really think so now that I'm looking around at the way that everything's set up. In that like down here, they've closed off the street for sure. It's all barricaded. Before, like last night, and the night of the Pilgrims, where this street down here was open in front of the cathedral, which is right over there, and people were just sort of like, you could just walk up to the cathedral. I mean, you really couldn't. There was a huge crowd. You'd have to push your way through the crowd. But like here, they've actually closed off the street with barricades, and there are people here that are like lined up against the barricades to like watch, I guess. But let's see if we can get a shot. Here are the bomberos that I mentioned, like the firefighters and paramedics. But like, it's closed off and there's nobody in the street. I don't know if you can see from that shot, but like the whole street is closed off and barricaded, and there's police lining the barricades on like all sides. Let's see if we can get a little closer to the barricade and get a shot. One of the things, of course, it is very sunny, so like everybody's got umbrellas out to protect them from the sun. But yeah, see, like everything's closed off. I don't really know what's going to happen. Like I said, we have no idea what's going to go on. We just show up with a camera and see what we see. There is a procession coming up the street. About a block away. think I'm gonna try and move from this spot, because otherwise we're gonna get stuck here. Well, they finished here at Plaza 9 de Julio, and I think now, I'm not sure. I have read that the procession goes and ends at Plaza 20 de Febrero. And if that's the case, we're gonna go over there now and just see. I don't know, there's a lot of people walking this way, but there were a lot of people walking pretty much every way out of the plaza, so I have no idea if this really is what happens. Well, everybody from the crowd seems to be making their way north towards Plaza 20 de Febrero. Everybody sort of took different routes to get there, it looks like, but it looks like the street up here 2 blocks up is like closed off. I think we've run into the actual procession route. This is Avenida Jujuy, and this goes north like directly into the center of the plaza from here, which would make sense. It's a nice big wide avenue up there. It makes sense why they would have it closed off. I think the procession leaves 9 de Julio and goes around and then loops back up through here and heads north this way. So let's go around this way. See if we can cut over 1 block and head up north on the next street over. That'll put us on the like western edge of Plaza 20 de Febrero. I think going 1 block over is the right move. Yeah, the street's closed off here. Everybody's walking right in the street, and it looks, I don't see anything closed off in front of us. So it looks like this street will take us like all the way. And there's a lot of people here, but there were other people maybe like 4 blocks over, like to the east or that way, who took routes up, I think just to avoid like Avenida Jujuy. Oh, here, look at this. Do you see in the distance there? I don't know if you can see it. That is, that's the procession right there, because that's the statue of Christ. All right, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going up, try and get ahead of the procession here. Seems like we're getting ahead right here. I'm also running extremely low on battery, so we're gonna turn the battery, the camera off on the battery, or the camera off and save the battery. We have arrived. Plaza 20 de Febrero. And this is definitely where everyone was going. It's hard to see, I can't get up high enough, but this plaza is basically like 4 square blocks. And as far as I can tell, the entire thing is full.
Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por los pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén.
Dios María, llena eres de gracia, el Señor es contigo. Bendita tú eres entre todas las mujeres.
Well, as you can tell, my camera ran completely out of battery. Had to film a little bit on the phone, but it's the next day, following day, and you can see right here, across the street from our apartment, Parque San Martin, is all the vendors have moved out, all the concert stage has been packed up, and Salta gets back to just normal everyday life. But I will say that was a really amazing experience. I think we were really lucky to have been here, to just happen to be here during that, the most important celebration here in Salta, and definitely probably the most important celebration of faith in all of Argentina. I don't know what else to say. It was a really cool experience. Glad we were here for it. Glad you got to come along. So we'll see you in the next one.